And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the July 9th edition. Woo! July's flying by. Like we're a third of the way through July. Anybody realize that? It's a wild thing when we think about it. Now, welcome. Movies Movies Podcast. How are you doing today? Today, I'm not going in a different route or anything, but we're talking about buying back your time. This show is kind of a follow-up, a side piece, sidebar to this month's book. If you check down in the description if you haven't read it yet, July's book is "Buy Back Your Time" by Dan Martell, and it is I think it's a pretty powerful book. I'm already on my second listen of it, and I listen to it each morning while I'm getting things going for the day, and there was a lot of great info in it. So go click that. I believe there's some sales going on too for Prime Days, so perfect time to go get that. And that's what we're gonna talk about, because whether you're feeling burned out from those late night printing sessions, those endless DMs, that to-do list that never ends, I'm telling you, you're not alone. And you're definitely not doing it wrong, but you are doing too much. And so we're gonna, kind of break down some key lessons from buy back your time, and showing you how to apply them in our real life creative business. And it doesn't matter if you're a DTF printer, sublimation printer, apparel decoration, in general, or you're just juggling way too much. We're hoping that this talk will help you buy back your time, and protect your energy, and most importantly, without sacrificing those sales. Now, if this is your first time here or your long time here, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area, along with your five. What are five things that you are going to accomplish? It was a little chilly out. It was like 60 some up this morning. Now it's going to warm up to mid 80s. We just finished off our Celsius retro vibe, not vetro, retro vibe. And as far as our five things, we've got DTF stuff that needs to get printed out. Anybody that has DTF in the queue, I will let you know. We got slammed with stuff over the holiday weekend. There were some errors coming in when we came back in on Monday. We were hoping to get back on track today to get everything cleared up. So we are running, we usually put the 2 to 3 day turnaround time in there, and it's for instances like this. We are running a little behind. So just keep that in mind. Everything is flowing out as it should. We're just getting through the orders and busting them out. So there's that for it. But we got shirts that need to be pressed. Uh, I've got print jobs that I need to work on as far as signs, finish up banner jobs, sticker jobs. There's that. Got a couple school stores that we need to set up, and then invoicing, because hey, I want to get paid, right? We want to get paid. There's nothing wrong with getting paid. So let's check in and see how everybody is doing this morning. And let's see, can I? Yeah, there it is. I can turn on the chats right here, and we can go from it. Oh, and I'm going to share over in Facebook land, because Facebook was not playing nice this morning. So I should have done that, and then we'll be good to go. Barb, good morning to you, North Central Minnesota. 66 and sunny, water in the cup, five things. Quotes, embroider test, stitch outs, sewing alterations, clean sewing area, and DTF. Very nice for you. Tim, good morning to you, my friend. Rena, ho ho. Looky who joins us again, Rena. Rena, you should stick around, because I think the next 30 to 60 days are going to be pretty wild here. And you'll be interested to see how some of that works out. So it's 70 there in SoCal. Got water in the cup, and I'm out watering before it gets too hot and listening in. Well, good for you, Rena. And Barb says the book is really good. It is. I'm really digging the book for it. Like I said, I'm on the second listen of it now. Uh, First up, StreamYard, StreamYard moved some stuff around. I want to make sure. Do you see me as? Do you read this normal, or is it reversed for you? They switched some stuff around. I'm like, did I do that right? We'll see if it mirrored or not mirrored. So you tell me. Uh, and Renee, reading 71 on the way to 93 and thick. Yeah. Water in the bottle, coffee in the cup. Five. Coffee in the cup. Five. Filing, customer follow up, photo finish products, quotes, organize Pepe's area. Hi, Barb, Tim, and Rena. All right. So it's normal. Boom, boom. Perfect. Thank you for that. Uh, Linda Hay from Texas, 75 on the way to 90 with more rain. Man, you guys are just getting pounded down there with the rain. Morning, Linda. Morning, friends from Jerry, 75 there in Mid Ohio in cloudy. I have an order in the queue. Yes, you have an order in the queue. I believe yours is first this morning for sure. But we're getting through it, man. That holiday 3-day weekends are rough anyway. DTF seems to not care for that and then throw everything in there. And there's some sales that happened in certain places last week. So good times. Hi Linda Jerry. Hi Linda Jerry. Linda from Bob. Hi Linda Jerry from Renee. Morning Todd. Tim, Rena, Barb, Renee, and Hart and Linda. So from Jerry. Brian, Mountain Dew 70, headed to 90. Normal, perfect. We see there. Reads right. Perfect. Brian's here too. That's right. Brian's here. The Lord of Printing has joined us, graced us with his pleasure, presence. That was going to be really weird. Morning, Brian. And what's up, Chuck? Good morning to you from Florida. And Tim says, finishing these jerseys. I need to get my print cup ready to go for the logo. I have a tint job this afternoon, 2 of them. Very nice. And then hi, Chuck from Renee. Okay, so first off, let me go find the link because if you do not have this book, I highly recommend you get it. At least get the audio version, and then you can listen to it there. So I'm going to post that down here so everybody has that. It is an amazing, wonderful thing. Go check it out. Go get that. Cindy checking in. Morning 76 and sunny. Drinking Mississippi Grog latte. Where's that from? 5 things: prep tumblers, print straw toppers, FedEx run, dome earrings, paint displays before it gets too humid. Yeah, it's going to be gross out. When you go to FedEx, which FedEx do you head to, Cindy? Do you head the one down here by our house? Do you head to the one out there on Turkey Hollow Road? Where do you go to for FedEx? And now, where do you go for UPS? Because didn't they're not, are they still not taking stuff out by the airport? It's throwing me all off. George, George, how are you doing, my friend? Long time no see. And whoa, Sarah's checking in this morning. Sarah, how are you doing this morning? We'll get on a call today, Sarah. I think you penciled in. I'll double check because we need to finish up our call from yesterday. Yesterday was a wild day for things. We were in meetings pretty much all day, and the wildness is just getting wilder. And I even asked, I said, "Can I share some of this yet?" And they're like, "Not yet." Okay, so can't share stuff, but I'm telling you, makes your butthole pucker. That's if that's anything for it. Look at that. Yeah, Jerry says all the gang's here. Sarah, Cindy are here. I know everybody is here for it. All right. It's because everybody should read this book. That's what everybody should do is go read and listen to this book because that's the way I like it. All right. So, this is all about, buying back your time. And we're going to give you, 5 ways that you can reclaim your day as a decorator. Because, let's be real. Running a small business can feel like you're on a hamster wheel, right? Printing shirts at midnight, you're answering emails between pickups, and you're squeezing in social media posts while standing in line at the grocery store, right? But what if the goal isn't to do more? It's to free yourself up to do what matters most. So in today's episode, we're going to dig into the key lessons from Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell and how they can apply directly to makers and apparel decorators. These 5 tips, I think, will help you stop drowning in that busy work and then start building a business that works for you, not one that burns you out. Now, number one, tough for me because a lot of these, like, 100% apply to me and what we're doing and how I need to get better at it. Is number one, don't scale chaos, right? What does that mean? Well, so many of us try to grow before we are organized. But if you're already maxed out and miserable, scaling is just going to multiply that stress. And Dan Martell calls this scaling chaos, and it leads straight to burnout. So instead, focus on stabilizing before scaling. Look at your current systems. Are you copying and pasting the same email 10 times a week? Are you manually tracking orders on sticky notes, notepads, dry erase boards? These are signs that you don't need more, you need better. Okay. An example of this is we had a printer that they doubled their sales after automating their customer onboarding with just a simple Google form for it. Another one realized that their stress wasn't from too many orders. It was from answering those same 5 questions all day, every day. So what we need to do is identify one chaotic system in our business: invoicing, filing connection, order tracking, customer input, and choose one way to streamline or automate it this week. Now, here's a sneak peek. Friday show, we're going to talk about Zapier and how we can use that in our business. In one of our mentorship calls yesterday, we're talking about automating systems, and I said, "Here's how I have it. Are you using Zapier?" And they weren't 100% sure what that was. So I said, "You know what? I'm going to do Friday's show about that because it is a good follow up of this. Is how to use Zapier in our business. So if you're not using it, definitely tune in on Friday for that show." Okay. Number two, let's delegate those low value tasks, because not every task in our business is worth our time. Dan teaches that your job is to buy back your time by hiring or automating anything that falls below your buyback rate. And that's the value of your time per hour. So let's look at it this way. If you're spending your $100 an hour's brain, that's we're worth on $10 tasks, we are stealing from our own growth. So the key is to let go of the things you are not uniquely good at. Start small. Customer service replies, file prep, scheduling social media posts. It could even be household chores. This is why we've gotten teams together to help with marketing, to help with posting that, because our time is spent better out. Our time is better spent elsewhere. You know, a shirt company that hired a virtual assistant for 5 hours a week just to handle the customer messages, they gained back 5 hours to work on designs. Their next step is going to be hiring a designer. Getting that, having somebody take care of that for you to get that time back. It is somebody who, instead of, making mock-ups manually, they had templates set ready to go, so they just hit the button and it just makes the template for them. Saves hours a month buying back your time with it. Now, what we can do is let's write down 3 things that you do, that somebody else could do you for, cheaply, inexpensively. $15 less, that's minimum wage here, maybe even $7 less, $4 less, things overseas. Hey, let's outsource one thing this month, and even if it's just for a trial run for it. Number 3, we need to protect our creative time. It's tough to do, but as decorators, our creativity is our currency. But when your day is filled with shipping and admin and last minute requests, your creative energy can really take a hit. So Martell says you should your calendar should reflect your priorities, and creativity should be one of them. I've preached this about how long, right? You have to protect your time for design work, for product development, for content creation, and for dreaming big. This means time blocking, setting boundaries, and saying no to things that steal your focus. How long have I said time blocks? That's what we have our day measured up into, is time blocks, to make sure that we're working on these things. I'm currently building an app, and I am putting, a decent amount of time every day to building that. As we are learning more about AI, I'm spending, multiple hours a day doing that, just learning, just setting that there. If you're in this design where you're putting things out there, if you just start blocking out 2 hours every morning for that quiet design time, it's before everything, the house wakes up, before everything gets going, and you're able just to have that time to really work on it without any distractions. I know somebody, and this one is really tough for me, and it hurts, and I don't know how they do it, but I'm going to give it a shot. Is they turned off all their phone notifications from 9 to noon. They said their productivity tripled, and it was because they weren't just constantly, "Oh, look, there's another notification. Oh, look, there's that. Oh, I need to answer that. Oh, I need to do that." We don't. I feel so it's gonna be tough for me to do that one. But when we're looking at things, can we block out 2 to 4 hours this week for just creativity, for strategic work, to work on the business, not in the business, and you treat that like a paid appointment that you can't cancel. Can we do that? Now, before we go on, any of this resonating? Any questions, comments, concerns? How are we doing this morning? And Sarah says, "Ooh, Zapier is fun." It is. There's a lot that you can do with it, and there's for even what I do with it, what it isn't a boatload, it's just scratching the surface with it. And Tim says, "I use Zapier in the tint biz, but don't pay for it, so it runs out of uses." And the paid version is only $20 a month. So, what do you value your time at, Tim? Let's say you value your time at $100 an hour. Well, does that $20, if what's that? $20 an hour, so $25 every half hour, so every 15 minutes, right? So does that save you 15 minutes a month? Yeah, do the paid version, right? And Sydney's telling me she's going to FedEx and Iowa and Elmore. I have a $1.25 discount to use a Quick Star that expires today. I'll give you that. I'll go with that. And Quick Star is like its only own mini whatever grocery store, so you got to go there. Um, Google. Renee asked me, what calendar system do I use for my daily scheduling? Google. I have the Google Calendar in there for it. Everything goes into one spot for it, and that's where Zapier can help with that. Something's created here, it's dumped in there. Meetings, any of our posting things, anything is there in the same one for it. Oh, look, Brian says, cool. Call Todd between 9 and noon. No one will interrupt the conversation, except that they're turned off, so I wouldn't even get the call. I wouldn't even get the call. And let's be honest, I probably wouldn't answer anyway because I'm doing something. Well, no, when it's you guys, when it's customers I know, it's there. I do a lot of there. Let's be honest. I've got 144 things in my call log, whether missed calls, messages, things like that. And a lot of it is like, how many, here's your new financing offer for $4 million. Here's your pre-approved and select your terms for this. Here's your somebody trying to sell me a car, somebody else that, a Google listing. So it's not always good things, but it's one of those things. I do answer. Look at Stubborn Bull. Stubborn Bull, Stubborn Bull. Who's Stubborn Bull? Somebody remind me. All the cool people here. Facebook was lonely for a quick minute. Well, there. See, now you're over here, and we can see it all. We can see it all. Okay, let's get back over here. Now, number 4. Let's build a business that supports your life. Right. Dan reminds us that we don't start businesses just to be busy. We start them for freedom. We start them for impact, and we start them for fulfillment. So, really ask yourself that hard question. Is the business you're building actually supporting the life you want, or is it getting in the way? And this doesn't mean that you stop working hard. It just means that you stop wearing every hat. You build systems, you bring in team members, you find systems that work even when you take a break. You stop saying, I have to do it all, and you start asking, how can I only do what I'm best at? In our instances as apparel decorators, you know, can you hire somebody to press shirts so you can focus on building the retail line, to getting new customers, to selling new jobs, to marketing? Can you do that? Can you take a job that somebody else can do and pay them so you can go out and get more? You know, is there a way, where you can bulk things more? And what does that mean? You design your services around jobs. So you're not stuck doing the same thing every day. I can do this day. Today's a production day. This day's a marketing day, and you can go so on and so forth with it. I mean, the real thing is, here's what we have to do is, ask ourselves, if you had to take a 2-week break next month, would it all fall apart? Not so much, maybe, possibly. But what can you put in place now so that doesn't happen? So that's what we're doing. This one is for me because I might be taking a 2-week journey next month, and we're seeing it'll be a trial thing. Is it a vacation? Is it a workcation? I don't know, but we still have the business to do. Will it fall apart? No, but we will find the holes that need to be filled so we don't have to worry about that. So things still get done in time. So jobs are still going out. Systems and processes are put in place that it can run. So we're getting better at it, but it's going to take work. It's not going to happen overnight. It's just, one thing at a time for it. Now, bring this to the end here. Number five, time is our most valuable asset. All right. We say that again. Time is our most valuable asset because money is renewable. Time is not. When that second is gone, it is gone. Every time you say yes to something that drains your energy or eats your day, you are saying no to the next big opportunity. Dan reminds us that you're not behind. You're just busy doing the wrong things. If you want to grow your business, your first job, buy back your time, and this is so that you can invest it where it counts. And this might mean saying no to those low profit custom jobs, pausing a service that's not scalable, or cutting that daily task that just doesn't move the needle for it. Some examples of this is, somebody who was constantly behind on orders. They stopped taking the one offs and they use that time to pitch to more bulk clients. Their income doubled. You're not spending that time draining on that one when you can be doing a bunch. You know, another one, is they stopped obsessing over the Instagram trends that were coming, and they used that time to revamp their onboarding guide. It doubled the referrals. It made the process better. We sent it out, got done, boom, with it. So, what can we do with this? Let's choose one thing that you're doing that isn't bringing you joy, money, or growth, and just stop doing it. Replace that time with something that does. It's tough, but we're gonna make through this together. Um, so to wrap this all up, we don't need to hustle harder, right? I was a big proponent of that hustle, 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 get. Yes, put in the work, get the reward, but we need to work smarter. Your calendar is a reflection of your priorities, and you don't have to be burned out to be successful. You don't have to do everything yourself to be legit, and you don't have to wait until you're drowning to build a better business. So, to recap this, we're going to stop scaling chaos. We're going to delegate those low value tasks. We're going to protect our creative energy. We are going to build a business that supports our life. And we're going to treat our time like it's our most valuable asset because we don't just deserve time back. We need it if we want to grow and prosper. That's what I got for you today. As we wrap this up, remember we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Uh, Make sure like, subscribe, do all that. We'll finish up at Ray. Hey, all right, Ray. How is it going? What do you guys think? Was that good information? Remember Friday we were talking Zapier. So tune in for that as we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Uh, Tim says, so Zapier, I just collect emails, but not even using it for email blasts right now. But I need to do that. But I'm busy already, but ads should not stop. I know. That's the thing we get in it. What's this Zapier? So much stuff out there we can't keep up. Tune in Friday. Tune in Friday. I will get the show set up today and get it posted out there so everybody can go check it out. And then we share, because I'm going to talk about how we can use Zapier in our business from it. Tim said, I heard this the other day and loved it. Yeah, you need to know how to fire yourself. Absolutely, 100%. I'm not good at certain tasks. Why am I doing it? I wanted to build marketing. I wanted to push it there. I love doing that. I love connecting with people. I love helping people grow. I love consulting. Um, but to spend the time to do ads and to go through all that, listen, there's so much stress that's involved with that. I hired a marketing team. Like, here's what we can do with it, and here's how it works. And we're testing out stuff, and I don't have to think. Like, here's some ideas, and it works. Tanya, good morning. Late to the party. Better late than never. You can always go back and watch the replay. Need more time on the clock, but do we? Jeff Bezos has the same amount of time as we do. Elon Musk has the same amount of time as we do. Every billionaire has the same amount of time that we do. Do you think they're doing everything? No, it is being done for them while they are doing something else. So that's the same thing with us. We start small, and as we get there, we delegate products off, and we don't have to do it as much. Hey, Tanya from Renee. Hey, Ray and Tanya from Jerry. A little bit I got on, but man, I think it was directed at me. It's 100% directed at me. That's why, we have book reads every month. You can, in fact, you can go find that. Maybe I'll have to get that and I'll post it. But it's just to help us. A lot of this is for myself. We have a lot of things happening on, that's happening here that are going to be some big things. I walked virtually through a business yesterday, and it was the potential is there for it. I have meetings today I have one meeting today on it, two meetings today on it, and then we're just going from there to see what a deal could happen. We've been talking with sponsors. That's awesome. We've been talking about even moving show location to somebody else's channel as part of a deal. That's awesome. There's a lot of things going on the back end, and a lot of it I'm not able to do if I'm in here designing all the logos, if I'm in here, sending everything to print, if I'm printing everything, if I'm pressing everything, and with I'm packaging everything up, if I'm shipping it all, I'm doing all the follow-ups, I'm doing all that. We can't grow the business that way. So who can we bring in to make it work for it? And yeah, that's what we got to do. And like great point here. Gary Vee has a content team of over 30 people. I have to learn to delegate. Yeah. I was talking to somebody about artwork and how they were doing it. And they have some VAs that are in the Philippines. And, they pay them great for Philippine money cheap here. And so they love it because at the end of the day, they send everything. And then when they wake up in the morning, it's done and back to them. And they just bought back their time. So things like that. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk to Zapier on Friday. I think next week we'll talk about VAs and how we can use them in our business and what that actually means. Because we are in the process of it. I'm looking. I've got two that we're using somewhat now on art things, and we're looking at a couple other designers for in-house projects where I can just send it to and it just gets done. So this is what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Good info and thought provoking. We'll see. We can talk more about it in our mentorship call, which there's the link to join that group down in the description. That call starts at 8 or 9:30 today, so just over a half an hour. And then we have Work on Your Business Wednesday. So we'll probably close that because I do have an 11 o'clock. So I'll close that one, reopen it up at 11, and then hop in that meeting. So we'll get that going for it. Perfect time for it. And we'll just keep pushing through with stuff. Team replay, great. And when you watch on the replay, make sure you're commenting down there that you're watching the replay because that is really appreciative on it. Um, what else? Do we have anything else before we get out of here for you guys? Any other topics to discuss? Things that are coming up? And Race is waiting on the shinies from you to see what that's about. So we've got a couple of things in the work. Is that we're working to be able to produce rhinestone transfers. Like I said, that'll be 30, 60 days out. We feel like it'll happen sometime by the end of August. I know it's not ideal for a lot of back to school stuff, but it gets us in at least part of the fall, and then we have the Christmas rush to go into it to be able to get some of those things in your hand for it. So we're working on pushing for those. Um, Other service, we're still cutting glitter. Hey, right now there's grass green glitter HTV lined up because we're still doing that. And like that's another job. Can I outsource that and have somebody come in and just cut and weed and do that? So we're definitely putting things on there for it. DTF, always rocking with that. We're just going to keep pushing and rocking through it. Good to see. Thanks for the call. We will get you. We'll get you, Sarah. Yeah, definitely have to learn a little bit. I think that does more bad than good. I just can't do it all. Um, Possibly, Renee. I think there's a pretty good chance of the cams, and there's a couple other machines that we're looking at too that might be more fourth quarter things. It just really depends on how this works out. Working with a couple people to see if we can work out a project to get things done and how the logistics of it all work. But yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be there. And then when we go in on that, there's going to be a lot of all in focus on that stuff. And that's why I need to get people in place for it. So that's what we got with it. All right. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for showing up for this. Make sure like, subscribe, share. Sharing's caring. Use the affiliate links because hey yo, it helps keeps the lights and mics on, and it does not cost you anything to use any affiliate links. You're helping your friends out when you do that. So make sure you use those for it. All right. Until next time, everybody have a great day. We will see you Friday for Zapier Talk. Peace, love, press on. We'll see you.